I remember when I was 10 years old, I used to have a very old bicycle, which at that time I'm thinking, how can my bicycle, I can cycle around the world. At that time, my knowledge, I'm worried about the tire. Tire might be punctured. So one of the funny thing at that time, I tried to find coconut fiber to put inside a tire. Hopefully, I can ride that bicycle to travel around the world. I'm Jamalulail Ismail.
I'm Sofini Harun.
And this is always my dream since my school time. I'm planning to travel around the world.
The biggest reason is, of course, is a dream of my husband. There are so many things to think. I think, especially as a wife and a mom, there are so many things that come to my mind. But at the time when I think I did agree that, and told my husband that let's do the journey, is because the kids were homeschooled. So that is the biggest advantage. And their age is a growing age. So if they pass a certain age and then they'll go about on their own life. So of course it'll be difficult. I think the most important thing that I saw is the marriage. Is the marriage going to survive? People say that if you want to know someone, then you travel with them. So if you know the person.
I'm more like worried about the vehicle, whether the vehicle we have can reach our destination. There were two families before tried to travel from UK to Malaysia, but both just only managed finish halfway, not even halfway. One of the family just abort from the journey in Sweden, and another family they just until reach Turkey. Then they continue journey with flight. They couldn't travel all the way to Malaysia overland. So this is my worry, my concern about the vehicle. This is one of a good thing, because without a mobile phone network we can use. We use a TomTom Live, TomTom Live World. And they have a source button. Source button go to, they call Geo Center in America. From Geo Center, they will go to the body in that country, rescue team. For example, if I press now, Geo's team from America will try to find out whether this is really SOS, and they will communicate with England. We can send message, we can tracking. Tracking is every 10 minutes. So everybody can track. Just follow our website. In the website they have a password. Every 10 minutes you can see the progress.
We both have very different worries. He was thinking about technical things and if the car's gonna make it. And I was thinking that the space that I need, I have the thought and the worries about how the vehicle is going to be in terms of psychologically, how we, 6 of us, going to actually stay, in that space, sitting there, eating there. Everything is there, and even if you got the best vehicle ever, it'll be damaged. So, in some way, I'm understanding of his worry about the vehicle, because at the end of the day, if the vehicle couldn't make it, you just couldn't make it. But then, how to actually balance that thought? Traveling is of course tiring, and then you'll have the kids with you. 3 of them are on, teenagers years, so they have their own mood. Everything come into my mind, and I think that's one of the biggest is the marriage and the family relationship. Of course, the second thing is financial, and how we're gonna be about and travel into the unknown, even though you can make a plan, but you just never know.
This is the masjid, one of the oldest masjid in the northeast area, Masjid Al-Azhar. This very historical masjid. And even one of the heavyweight boxer, Muhammad Ali, used to come here, visited here, perform merit here. We will mix with the local community here.
كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أجود الناس وكان أجود ما يكون في رمضان ومعنى الجود يشتمل على الكرم. Over 10 keys together. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم. It's the message of Islam. Assalamu alaikum for our brothers and sisters in Malaysia. Alhamdulillah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with the ni'mah of Islam. Today we say inshallah ta'ala, we'll not say goodbye, but we'll say inshallah to see you soon again for brother Jamalul Layl, who's traveling all the way to Malaysia. We wish him a safe and nice trip inshallah ta'ala.
Because our vehicle is a 1998, not designed for overland expedition. That's one of the reasons I prepare a lot of tools. I think more than 100 kg just for tools, carrying tools. I'm thinking if anything happen on the way, hopefully I can repair. When we just started the journey, I'm happy because this is exciting, this is my dream. But at the same time, I feel guilty whether this is like a punishment for my children because they're living in a very confined space.
Just put that in here first. Timur, just put that in here first. Oh, wait, okay? What do you want?
Today by road to Malaysia, I get invitation from brother Ma'mun and his family. Entertain dinner with a Mediterranean food. Today is our last week. We've been introduced with a Mediterranean meal. So how do you call Ma'mun on the right hand side?
Maklube.
Maklube.
Upside down.
Upside down.
That's what it's called.
Maklube.
Maklube. This is a special Mediterranean meal, upside down. Most of my time in UK, I think 1999 to 2012, I spent most time in engineering firm, developing engine. So this is a time for me to test whether I have that skill, that knowledge in terms of engine. That's motivate me because when we travel, I can learn more, I can test my knowledge, my experience. And of course, at the end, I know nothing.
I think for me is I always love the challenge. One of the biggest thing also that pushed me is the kids. You know, nowadays, of course, the life is more comfortable than what it used to be, you know, once upon a time. My target is to actually, you know, give the kids some experience, some challenge, and in the hope that they can actually, you know, probably test themselves as well. Every time that we stop in a campsite, then I told them, look, you know, some campsites have the laundry, but most of them didn't, so they will have to wash their own hand, you know, and for me is a skill that you need. One of my things that pushed me is because I wanted to put not just a kid, but also myself, you know, into the situation where you have to push yourself to actually do things that you seem difficult, but it's not that difficult when times comes.
This is fresh water going inside the motorhome, refilling the tank.
I think at the beginning, when we first started the journey, I didn't really think that it was going to be something that we would end up like doing. I thought that maybe like halfway we were going to be like, all right, we can't do this, and then we'll turn around and then just end it that way. But there was also an aspect where I was so sort of used to my parents doing crazy stuff that I was like, it is possible that it will be done, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was really. So, my name is Muhammad Shamim. I'm 24 years old.
My name is Ahmed Saif, 19 years old. Yeah, I think like going back sort of to when my dad first moved here, and like my parents, when they first moved here, it's always been my dad's dream. So we sort of heard about it growing up, like hints of it, like him wanting to go back to Malaysia. And he actually had a dream of taking like a London taxi cab, driving that all the way back to Malaysia. But obviously it was sort of like a new, like it was sort of too early when he wanted to do it after his studies.
Yeah, it was unrealistic to get a taxi cab, to be honest.
Yeah. So he actually bought the camper van, the motorhome, and you know, it started becoming more real. You know, they start planning it. My dad started planning routes, and my parents started talking about it more. Like it didn't feel real until it actually set off.
I think for me it didn't feel real until like after we left the UK, because I was just like, okay, we do like long journeys anyway, so like I was like, we would leave and then go down to London. I was like, okay, we're in London, this is the beginning of the journey, and I'm like, still like, you know, we could still turn around.
I know.
I think there was one point, because it was during Ramadan, it was very, very hot and it was very, very difficult. So like there was one point where we were just like, are we gonna turn around? Are we gonna go back? And then when we got on the ferry, it was just like, okay, this is happening. This is actually happening.
That is a good point. That it didn't feel like we were actually on the journey until we left the UK, because while we were in the UK, we stopped by, I think Coventry was our first stop, and we were like sort of, that's where we grew up. So we were still familiar. We still had family friends, and then we went down to London. We went to the Malaysian embassy and stuff, and it still felt quite comfortable, relatively comfortable, until we left the UK and we went to France. And it's like, oh, okay. This is the first step. It's like, it's feeling a bit real now.
Yeah.
I just kind of was like, oh yeah, like we're going on a trip around like 27 countries. I was just like, we're definitely doing it. I was kind of like, I was being sarcastic about it because I didn't think it would happen. But like, I love the idea of it. I don't think like, I don't know, I feel like it would be quite hard for someone to be like, no, I don't want to travel the world. So it's kind of like something loads of people want to do, but I just didn't believe it was going to happen. I just thought we were just going to go a few countries and then come back, or I thought the car was going to break apart. I mean, which it did at times, but yeah. My name's Sabira. I'm 25.
My name is Sumra and I'm 22 years old.
Yeah, I think like during that time I didn't feel that I was lucky, but when I look back on it, I realize how lucky I was to be able to experience that and to do that.
Yeah, again, like I was like a teenager and like moody all the time, and like I really loved traveling, but like I feel like our parents have always traveled their entire lives and they've always brought us to different places, so it wasn't anything out the normal. It was just we were going further out. But I definitely feel like it's an experience that like I will never forget, and it's like something I appreciate more and more as time goes by.
Four months before the journey, because we start the journey, this journey July. In January, February, we deliver ambulance to Syria. So that's like 4 or 5 days journey. Like I can consider this like a experience, a training for me as well. Yeah.
I mean, we did a lot of traveling in the UK as a family holidays. And me and the kids, we never actually stepped our foot in Europe. So we always travel back to Malaysia by the airplane, but we never actually, go to Europe mainland. So yeah.
Coventry, Morocco. Oh, we take a
one motto we always said to the children, the world is our backyard. That when we travel, normally we stop every 200 miles. Every 200 miles, we can see there are so many things different. For example, we start our journey from Seaham, County Durham. Then the first stop is in Coventry. And the temperature is slightly different. That's in terms of weather. And the food, maybe it's not much different, but you can see even the term of food also different. In Coventry, we say they have a doner batch. We don't find doner batch in Durham. That's in terms of food. People, the dialect, the language, also slightly different. That's one thing we found. So this is opportunity for us to gain experience, to learn something. And I always told my children that every day we will learn new lesson.
Sunderland Echo came just before the journey, and then coincidentally that news has been printed in the Sunderland Echo on the day that we travel, that we leave home. So it's been picked up by other news, especially in Malaysia.
Saya nak dapatkan skill dalam automotive engineering design. Itu peringkat awal kami datang. Sampailah lepas dia dapat kerja. Tapi di England ni kerja macam dia orang kata 3W ni memang very uncertain. First, weather, work. Jadi saya kerja ni, kerja memang first kerja Dana SU Automotive. Semua orang tahu Dana SU ni kalau di Malaysia kaki race semua SU carburetor. Lepas kerja setahun kami tutup. Lepas tu join MG Rover bungkus. Lepas tu join Peugeot Citroen pindah ke Czech Republic. Lepas tu join Cummins engine. Cummins pun pada ketika tu nak cuba pindah dia punya manpower ke China. Dan akhirnya join Caterpillar. Caterpillar nampak dia tak tutup lah, saya yang tutup.
I think the children is actually never convinced until the day that we leave. I probably never convinced 100%, although we do make the preparation.
Kita baru sampai di Coventry. Coventry ni heartland of England. Selepas 200 batu berjalan daripada utara England, kami berlepas daripada Seaham, County Durham pada pukul 2 petang. Sampai sini pukul 7 dan kebetulan mana dia Tuan Najib Fuad, tuan rumah, menjemput kami program berbuka puasa bersama dengan masyarakat Malaysia di Coventry. Malaysia di Coventry, majoriti masyarakat Malaysia di sini adalah student-student yang belajar di dua universiti di sini. Satu Universiti Warwick dan satu lagi Coventry University. Hari ini kita ada jemputan daripada Malaysian Student Department. Kebetulan Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. We bought from a private seller, just from here from York, and only £12,000. Before we start the journey, I'll join like a forum among, they call Overlander Forum. So this forum we discuss about the journey, about the vehicle, So one of the guy in that forum, he said, try find vehicle is not like the latest model, so many electronic computer to run the engine. Find a very basic diesel engine and try to use vehicle that we can repair with only screwdriver and hammer. Yeah, that's true. Like for example, let's say if a car broke down in Gobi Desert, Taklamakan Desert, something wrong with the electronic, the computer, I don't think I can repair. And a lot of things, sometimes we need to refer to the dealer, related to software, for example. It's not repairable on the roadside. When we travel from west to east, some of the country, their fuel is like black coffee. Diesel is just like black coffee. So this type of fuel, if you put in our fuel tank to run the engine, modern engine, I don't think the engine can survive, can cope.
I think the vehicle that we choose is not right for the overland. It's not actually been made to actually going overland. It's just a normal motorhome that been made to actually travel in the good road, in the UK and Europe. But of course, for us, is the most important, challenge that when we want to find a vehicle is the financial itself. How much the budget that we be able to afford. Not brave, but probably I would say brave enough to actually make that decision is because, my husband knowledge, in terms of technical things and, the car engine, things like that. Because I think if he doesn't have all that, he's not, having a mechanical background, things like that, I don't think that I will be ever brave enough to actually say, yes, let's go overland. Because, it's very important to actually have that basic knowledge.
But one thing in terms of engineering, what convinced me I can make this journey is one of the theory in engineering we call 10% shakedown test. If we can simulate the journey, like 10% of the journey, because our journey approximately around 25,000 kilometers. So if we can have a training 2,500 kilometers before the journey, try to simulate in terms of altitude, the weather, while camping, familiar with the vehicle along this 2,500 kilometers, inshallah, theoretically, I can reach 25,000 kilometers.
When we wanted to try to find a vehicle, of course, I look into the space and things like that, and then that have to combine together with our financial and then technical value.
Our money, our budget at that time is only enough for the basic thing, to reach Malaysia in terms of fuel and maybe a visa. But at that time, when we start the journey, we still struggle to pay carnet de passage. Theoretically, to enter certain country like Iran, we need to deposit like 500% of the vehicle value. So if our vehicle 10,000, so we need to put like a 50,000. They call carnet de passage before enter to that country. We have money for fuel, we have money for visa, but not for that 50,000 cash to enter to Iran.
At the time,
Yeah, but luckily we find different way. We use a guarantor.
Alhamdulillah. I think it's a lots of prayer and dua from lots of people around. People say that when women travel, if they can, they're going to bring the whole house. So that's how, how it is in some ways. So I did prepare a lots of dry food that I bring along the journey. As much as I can actually fit in that motorhome. The kids are not actually fussy in terms of, what I'm cooking or what I'm going to eat. So I make sure that I have some basic things. For example, have some rice, things like soy sauce. That for us is one of the important ingredients. Without nothing, we can just have that with a rice or egg. I did make sure that I bring, some spice. Just the basic, more important thing that, you can just go with anything, eggs.
And in terms of frozen food, we have a limited fridge and freezer.
Yeah.
That's maybe how many liters, I can't remember, but maybe only for last
3-4 days, maybe.
Like a week.
It was so many things to prepare. I mean, you're going to leave the house for a few months and you never know that what is going to happen. Are you going to make it? How are you going to come back? One thing that my husband had, because he would like to take the journey and he will always talk about it, since years back. So we were all sort of having that in our mind. Okay, we're probably going to travel, but, it's impossible.
Sorry?
Got 6 seatbelts in there, yeah?
Yeah, the first, yeah.
Got a seatbelt.
Yeah.
6 people in the same vehicle, especially being a Muslims, Asian background. We rarely heard that. So it was something a bit rare that the children thought that it's probably a joke or it's probably not going to happen until it's actually happened.
It's what?
Exciting.
Bismillah majreha wa mursaha. Inna rabbi laghafurur rahim. Asbahna wa asbahal mulku lillahi rabbil alamin. Alhamdulillah. Kami peserta projek By Road to Malaysia sekarang berada di kapal DFDS yang akan berlayar dalam beberapa minit lagi daripada Dover ke Dunkirk. Setelah lebih 400 batu, hari ini hari yang ke-7 kami bergerak dan insya-Allah kami akan berhenti di tempat yang ketiga. Zidentyfikowanie punktów ewakuacyjnych jest bardzo ważne. Sekarang pukul hampir pukul 4 pagi. Dan tiba-tiba sahaja mungkin disebabkan oleh kesan angin laut, suhu telah turun walaupun pada tengah siang hari tadi suhu mencecah 30 degree C dan amat cabaran yang hebat bagi kami berpuasa, terutama kepada peserta termuda Ahmad Saif yang alhamdulillah masih belum tinggal puasa, berpuasa selama 19 jam dan feri telah pun bergerak meninggalkan Dover. Eine Flasche Luft ist in Leiden, wenn es weiß.